up, you guys? The Curious Owl here, and today I have the announcement video for the next month-long round of Battle of the Bookish. Foremost, if you see this glow right here in front of me, that is my laptop. It has all my notes for the readathon so that I can keep track of what it is that I am going over. But yes, it is time again for the month-long readathon of Battle of the Bookish. If you guys are not familiar, I have been hosting a readathon twice a year with also 2 week-long readathons over the course of the year with some friends, my friends Adri at Adriology and Liv from Liv Stitches. And this is a readathon we've been hosting for several years now, where basically everyone gets into teams and it is a battle to see which team ends up on top with the most amount of average points. The way that you get put into teams is that you join our Discord, which I will leave in the description below for you guys, and you get to pick the team that you want to be on. This round's theme is going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender. So we have teams for each of the tribes, the water, earth, fire, and air tribes, and so that is the way that we are going to be doing this, is that those tribes are going to be the different teams. You get to pick which one you want to be on, and whichever team you pick has a certain amount of prompts that you then get to read from. You get to basically use any book that you read in the month for points. But there are certain team prompts that will earn you more points, and also there are certain prompts that everybody gets to use in the readathon that then also earn you more points. So without further ado, let's get into some of the rules and some of the things that are going to be going on in the course of the readathon before we get into the actual prompts for the readathon itself. So first and foremost, the round of Battle of the Bookish is taking over the entire month of January 2024. That's right, we are starting off the new year just like we always do for those of you that have joined us for the last several rounds, where we are going the entire month of January from the 1st to the 31st of everything that you read gets counted for so many points. Now, the point system works more so like this. Based on the number of pages that you read in your completed book, you will earn so many points just based on the page count. Now, we are allowing DNFs for 5 points, but you have to have DNF'd it at least 25% of the way through before you are able to get it counted for those DNF points. Otherwise, for any book that you complete within the different page ranges, you'll earn so many points, and you do have the ability to earn additional points based on what type of prompt you end up completing, whether it is a more general prompt that everybody gets to use or a specific team prompt for your team. So for any of the general prompts, the prompts that everybody gets to use, when you complete a book that fills one of those prompts, you will earn an additional 50 points on top of your page points. So for instance, if you read a 100-page book that fulfills a general prompt, you will earn a total of 80 points. So a graphic novel is perfect for this. If you read a graphic novel that fulfills one of the prompts, you will earn 80 points for your team. Now, if you complete one of your team challenges or team prompts, so if you're in the water tribe and you complete one of your water tribe team's prompts, you earn an additional 100 points on top of your page points. So it's a little different. The point value is a little bit higher for the team ones. So for instance, same idea. If you complete a graphic novel that is between 100 to 200 pages and it fulfills one of your team prompts, you'll earn 130 points for your team. Now, if for any reason you read a book that is, for instance, over 1,000 pages, you will earn automatically 200 points for your read, because that is a lot of pages to read, especially in 1 month. And especially for those of you that are overachievers and read 1,000 pages in a week, kudos to you, you will get those 200 points. So there are a couple of rules when it comes to the prompts in general, whether they're general or the team prompts. The first of which is that there is no doubling up. If you read a book that fulfills one prompt, that is it. It fulfills the one prompt, that's it. You're not going to be able to count 2 prompts for the same book. You're only going to be able to use 1 prompt at a time per book. Now, if you end up completing all of your team's team prompts, so for instance, if you're on the water tribe and you complete all of the water tribe team prompts, you do have the ability to jump to another team's prompts and complete those. However, there are 2 things with that. First of all, you have to have completed your team's prompts before you are able to do this. And we will, as the Battle Masters, be keeping track. So do not think you can pull a fast one on us. We are keeping track of every person's points and every person's prompts that they use, so we will know whether or not you are able to jump to another team. The second thing is that you have to complete the entire team's prompts before you can jump to another team. So for instance, if you read all of your water tribe prompts and you decide to hop over to the earth tribe and complete their prompts essentially for your team, then you have to complete all of the earth tribe's prompts before you can jump to either fire or air's prompts to complete those. How exactly do you put in your points? So in our Discord for each tribe, we have a channel that is set up for all of the participants to log their books that they're reading. The things that you're going to want to make sure that you put in your logging is the name of the book, the author, the page count of the book. If you can find it on Goodreads, it will count, because we have a lot of people who do audiobooks but they don't have the physical books. So just look up a physical or ebook copy on Goodreads and tell us how many pages that is. It doesn't matter. And also whatever prompts you are associating with it, whether it's a general prompt or a team prompt. And to answer some very common questions, as I said, audiobooks do count, graphic novels and comics will count. If it's available on Goodreads, we will be able to count it, especially if we are able to see it, or if you have proof that it exists somewhere in the world on Goodreads or Storygraph or something like that. As long as you provide us with proof that it exists, if we are not able to find it for whatever reason, that will count. Books in other languages are also completely fine. We have a lot of international participants, so that is totally fine, and those may differ in terms of their page counts, so be aware of that if you are reading a translated work of any kind. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into the team prompts. First of which is the Fire Nation. So we have 5 prompts for each of the teams, and the first one for the Fire Nation is Technology and Industry. This is to read a book that is not traditionally published, so something like an ebook or an audiobook. Basically something that is not a physical read of any kind. Next is the prompt Monarchy, which is to read a book with royalty. Next for Azula, we have a character that is consumed of or has a lot of power, because Azula is kind of that semi-big bad by the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Then we have Mai, which is to read a book that is not like other books, because this character definitely exudes the I'm not like other girls energy that we know and love her for. And then we have Ty Lee, which is to read a book with Asian-based content or by an Asian author. South Asian is perfectly fine, just any kind of Asian-related content. Now, Russian would also count in this because Russia is a part of Asia, at least part of it is, so that will also count if you are reading something by a Russian author or involves Russian content, i.e. Leigh Bardugo's Shadow and Bone series, anybody? Next we have the Water Tribe, with the first prompt being The Poles, which is to read a book set in winter or in a cold setting. Perfect for the January time, since it is in the middle of winter for us, in at least the northern hemisphere. Next is Displacement, which basically, if you don't know what that is when you go into water and whatever weight you have in the water raises the water level. This is to have a book that involves characters that have to either move or are displaced. This in the sense that displaced means they are removed from their home. We've had a bit of a play on the word displacement, so. Next we have Korra, who is a part of the Avatar: The Last Airbender world. We did include a few things in terms of the Legends of Korra basically within this readathon, so we decided to go with a sequel or a companion story for Korra. Next we have Yue, who is the wonderful, wonderful moon girl from Avatar that Sokka falls in love with, and for this we are having you read a book with a moon on the cover. And then Pakku, the gruff, rough and tumbly master mentor of Katara in the Water Tribe. This is to read a book with a mentor character. Next for the Air Temples, we have the first prompt, which is called Up in the Air, which is to read a book with either trees or something tall on the cover. Tall buildings will work, just something that basically indicates that we're in more of a sky view as opposed to on the ground. Next we have Abandoned, which is to read a book with either an abandoned, haunted, or spooky house, as many of the air temples are abandoned. Next we have Nomads, as the airbenders are well known for being nomads, and this is to read a book with travel. Next is Airball, one of the most fun aspects of Aang's actual powers, and this is to read a book with either games or competition. And finally, the last prompt for the Air Temple is the only one left, as Aang is the only airbender left in the entire world, and this is to read a final book in a series. Finally, we have the Earth Kingdom, with the first prompt being the largest kingdom, as it is the largest kingdom of all of the different tribes. And this is to read a book over 500 pages. Next, we have the prompt Ba Sing Se, which is a very eerie, mysterious kind of city the further you get into it. And this is to read a book that feels eerie or is not what it seems. Unreliable narrator would definitely be a factor in this, so if you have a book with an unreliable narrator, that would actually really work for this. Next is Jet, which is to read a book with betrayal, whether it's betrayal from another character, it has a theme of betrayal in it, something to that effect, it will work. Next, we have the Kyoshi Warriors, with the wonderful Suki being a part of that. We love Suki. And this is to read a book with a large cast of characters, as there are a ton of Kyoshi Warriors. And finally, we cannot forget our lovable friend, Boomy, Aang's best friend from when he was a child, and this is to read a book that feels like an old friend. And here we have Oscar, who's, okay, hello. Oscar decided to make his appearance before the end of the video. Thank you, baby. But without further ado, those are all of the rules and everything to know about January's Battle of the Bookish readathon for Avatar: The Last Airbender. I am so excited for this. I hope you guys are too. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. Or if you come join our Discord, we do have a chat channel where you can ask any and all questions to our battle masters, and we can help with whatever it is that you've got going on. So thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to be and would like to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!